Hi, Bill Parliament from RadicalMarketingSolutions.com, and this is episode 14 of the X's and O's of SEO. And today I'm going to talk to you about Google's recipe for higher rankings. Just the other day I received an email from one of my clients who said, "Hey Bill, I read somewhere that if you get a bunch of people coming to your website and clicking the Facebook like button, you'll get a #1 Google ranking." Well, the problem with this line of thinking is the way Google ranks websites is not based on just one thing. And I hear this a lot. "Hey Bill, I heard that strategy X will get me a #1 ranking, or strategy Y will get me a #1 ranking." And again, the way Google ranks websites is more closely related to a cake recipe, meaning that there are a lot of ingredients that go into baking a cake. And if you were to try to bake a cake and only use flour, that cake would not taste very, very good. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you some of the recipes that go into getting a higher ranking for your website in Google. So let's get started. So the first ingredient that any good SEO campaign or any website should start with are keywords. So if you don't know what your buyers and customers are searching for online, how are you going to get those rankings anyway? So we need to add some keywords to our cake, to our website. And this is our SEO mixing bowl, in case you were wondering about my artwork. So this is our mixing bowl. Okay, so we're going to start with a dash of keyword research. Next, we're going to add some great content. Not just good content, but great content, because that's going to come into play a little bit later. And keyword research and content makes for a great base. So let's put some great content into our bowl. Okay, so that's going to go in there. Keywords goes in the bowl. And now what we need to do is we need to add a great keyword-rich domain name, because Google tends to rank websites with keyword-rich domain names higher in the search engines for those keywords. So we'll use a keyword-rich domain name, and we'll add that to our mixing bowl. Okay? And now what we're going to do is we're going to build our website, but one of the things that we want to make sure is that our website is properly coded. We don't want a website with a lot of HTML errors or things like that where the Google bot or the spiders can't crawl and index properly your website. So we need to add some good coding, website coding, to our mixing bowl. Okay? And now what we need to do is we need to sprinkle in some proper on-page SEO strategies. Remember, on-page SEO are the things that you can actually see on your web page. Things like keyword-rich title tags, using your keyword in your H1 tag, using your keywords in the body copy of your website. So we're going to add some on-page SEO to our cake mix. On-page SEO. Okay, we're going to add that to the bowl. And now we need to make sure that now that we have our website built and we got some good content, keyword-rich domain name, what we need to do is start interlinking our pages. And what I mean by that is taking your anchor text, meaning the keywords that you want a page to rank for, you want to link that to another page that's on your site to another page that's on your site. So we're going to add some on-page links. Page links, okay? Or this is really internal linking. That's what I should call it. Internal links. Okay, these are the links on your site. We're going to add that to the bowl. And now if we have on-page links, now obviously we have to worry about our off-page SEO, meaning the external backlinks coming into our website. Now, I mentioned earlier that our keywords and our great content form a great base for our cake. And that's true because one of the best way to get lots of backlinks to your website is having great usable content that other people want to link to from their website. So all these things kind of go hand in hand. So we're going to add backlinks to our mixing bowl. That's going to go in. And now we're going to add some on-site metrics, okay? Because now what Google's really paying attention to is how are people interacting with your site. So we're talking about things like your bounce rate. Are people staying on your site, clicking through to other pages, or are they hitting the bounce button on the browser and leaving your site looking for another result? Page views, how many pages are people looking at? And the other thing is we're going to talk about is time on site. How long are people staying on your website? So on-site metrics is another ingredient we want to add. Okay. And now we want to use some user engagement. We want to sprinkle that into our bowl. Now, when my client sent an email about the Facebook likes, she was partially right. Again, that's one part of the whole, meaning that user engagement, getting people to click the like button on your page, getting people to tweet the content on your page, to share information on things like LinkedIn and now on Google+, that's user engagement. So again, it comes back to your keywords and great content. Is your content so compelling and with so much information that you're getting other people to add backlinks to your site, and then for your users to engage with your website, to click the like button, to tweet your content, and to retweet the content. So we're going to add user engagement. Okay. And this user engagement is, like social media, things like that. So we're going to add that to our site. Now, the thing about the recipe here for higher rankings on Google is you got to kind of play around with the recipe. It's like any good recipe. I love cooking barbecue, and one of the things that I like about cooking barbecue is the recipes can always be tweaked and changed, and as you add a little more of this or a little less of that, it changes the taste of the barbecue. If you cook it longer, whatever it might be. So you really need to test to see how much of each one of these recipes that you need. So in fact, I have testing domains that I use. I set up websites, and then I take these strategies and I apply them to these testing domains to see how Google changes the way my website ranks in the search engines, to see how these changes really affect the way my website reacts. So I test these strategies before I use them on my own websites and on my clients' websites. So again, you may not have the time to do that because you may not be an SEO professional. You might be a dentist or a lawyer, chiropractor, whatever you do in your online business. So you can always check back with me, and I always have some of the information that you're going to need to help your websites ranking higher on Google. So I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you have any questions, comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment box below on this blog post. And again, this is Bill Parliament saying, now go dominate Google.